Welcome back to the Inner Circle. It's been a while, but we've got a video to do today, so let's get to it. You know, I'm a man who likes to enjoy some of the finer things in life. Piping hot cup of coffee on a scorching summer afternoon, reading a great book while cuddled up right next to the air conditioner, maybe a nice deep tissue massage from Uncle Frank. And that's why I require nothing but the best when it comes to the devices that I use in my business and personal life. For the past decade, the cornerstone of my digital world has been flanked by the Samsung Note range of phones. And today, I received the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, and I'm very excited to see what Samsung has in store for us this year. Yes, I know I'm 4 months late, but I have to pay for these things myself, and I'm never going to pay launch prices when I can wait just a little while for a massive discount. We'll get into more about that later. Those of you who know me know that I am a big Samsung Note fan. I've had every single Note device since the original Galaxy Note 1. Look at this thing, removable back, user replaceable battery, user upgradable storage, and you guessed it, headphone jack. I could even use my fancy in-ear monitors with this old thing. No problem. Oh, and by the way, these are the Moondrop Stellaris in-ear monitors. And if you've only ever used earbuds, then you really don't know what you're missing here. The Galaxy Buds 2 Pro or whatever else Apple has with their ear dongles Pro can't hold a candle to the experience you get from a proper set of in-ear monitors and the soundstage these things enable. Video on these and other in-ear monitors coming soon. Now I realize Note isn't in the S23 Ultra's name, but they've really only changed the naming convention here. The S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra both come with the requisite DeX desktop software, and more importantly, the S Pen. So in my mind, these are still Galaxy Note devices. Now I did test drive the Samsung Fold last year, but it didn't really work well with my specific workload. Now Samsung did just announce the Fold 5, and it does come with a built-in S Pen this time, so I may have to give that another go. We'll see. But today, we're trying to see if it's worth upgrading to the S23 Ultra if you're currently rocking the S22 Ultra. Now I've seen the articles and videos saying it's the same phone as last year, you should just skip this one, blah blah blah. But before I even compare these two phones for myself, I can go ahead and tell you unequivocally, it is worth the upgrade right now. If you're an iPhone user of any style, it is absolutely worth upgrading to the S23 Ultra. But let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. See, this phone is not for everyone. This is a productivity beast, and if you need to get real work done, this is definitely the phone for you. Now, maybe the iPhone is more your speed if you're just a normie who likes to follow the crowd, do what everyone else is doing, someone who would rather have others tell them how they should live rather than decide things for yourself. Or maybe you're someone who likes to think inside the box, someone who doesn't care about features like being able to do what you want with your own devices. If you enjoy incompatibility with the majority of computers and super slow transfer speeds, I do have to give Apple some credit here. They did come out with the Lightning cable 12 years ago while the rest of the world was stuck on the worst connection known to man, micro USB. But now that was over a decade ago, and the rest of the world has long moved on from that time. Apple, however, is still stuck in 2012. Do you guys know that the fastest an iPhone can transfer a video file is 480 megabits per second via this Lightning cable? Well, with USB-C, the S23 Ultra and S22 Ultra are at 10 gigabits per second. Now, to put that into perspective, I do a lot of 4K video shooting on my phone and a lot of editing of those files on my PC. With a 100 gigabyte 4K video file, it takes me 1 minute and 20 seconds to transfer that file to my computer for editing. On the latest iPhone 14 Pro Ultra Super Max Paint Edition, it'd take 27 minutes and 47 seconds to transfer that same file. Yikes. That's not even counting the amount of time wasted trying to get those files converted to something remotely usable by 99% of video editing programs. They do say Apple is coming out with the USB-C for the next iPhone. And I sure hope so, because 20-year-old USB 2.0 transfer speed in 2023 is just inexcusable and borderline criminal. Friends, don't let friends buy Apple. I couldn't do without the DeX mode on a phone, which turns your Galaxy device into an actual desktop computer experience. All you need is a display of some sort and you're ready to go. Now, I usually carry around a portable Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, but you don't really even need that. Someday I'll do a video on how DeX has saved my butt several times. That feature alone is enough for me to recommend ditching Apple, its anti-consumer practices, and overhyped marketing of new features that have been available on other brand devices for years. And look, here's the biggest thing. I just can't accept that I'm not allowed to download whatever app I want. You can't tell me what I can and can't do with the devices I buy with my own hard-earned money. Apple, just no. Now, all half joking aside, today we're here to compare the S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra in a few key areas. Number 1 is looks or aesthetics. Number 2 is hardware. C is software. 4th, exclusive features. And E is pricing. We'll look at the pros and cons of each one and decide if you should or should not upgrade. So let's go ahead and get over to the desk to check these two out and compare them. So first, let's talk about appearances. Starting with the boxes. You can see from just a quick glance that the S23 Ultra box is vastly superior to the S22 Ultras. That is the S23 Ultra box. Interesting. So why does last year's box look so much better than this year? This isn't even close. The S22 box is the winner hands down. The S23 Ultra's box looks a little bit silly and out of place. Now, my favorite box of all time is the Note 9's box. I'm not sure that they'll ever match the simplistic and timeless design of this box. My least favorite box? The Galaxy Note 5. Just look at the skeuomorphism, the ugly orange, just yuck. But as far as these two go, the S22 Ultra wins in the box competition. But luckily, the box doesn't matter too much since, you won't be carrying it around with you. So on to the phones. Here on the left is the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and on the right is the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And at first glance, we can already see a lot of upgrades that Samsung has made to the S23 Ultra over the S22 Ultra. Well, maybe not on the front, but if we turn these over, you'll see that they look very similar to me. This one's green and this one's gray. They've got the same cameras. They kind of look similar to me, if I'm honest. How about the top? Wow, these look extremely similar on the top. It looks like they've adjusted the placement of the antennas, but the top looks extremely similar. Let's check out the bottom. Wow, that looks like the same exact phone. No changes there. But if we turn these over on the side, we'll see that the sides are also extremely similar. So these look like the exact same phone to my eyes. So I guess it's a draw in the aesthetics department. On to the hardware. First, we'll talk about the cameras. I think the S22 Ultra's zoom camera is really, really good. It has a 108 megapixel sensor that lets you zoom in and get photo shots that iPhone users could only dream of. Now, the S23 Ultra takes the same idea and cranks it up big time. You get a 200 megapixel camera sensor that is supposed to allow more light and more detail. Now, I took these photos at the same exact place at the same exact time, and you can see that the S23 does look like it allows a little more light into the shutter. But I'm struggling to see the difference in detail, maybe a little. So the S23 Ultra squeaks by the S22 Ultra in the camera battle. As far as the other hardware differences, I've been through all the hardware specs on Samsung.com, and these two are very similar in almost every single hardware aspect. 256 gigabytes of storage and 12 gigabytes of RAM. They both have a 120Hz dynamic WQHD Plus screen. But the big upgrade this year is the processor. See, last year's model is rocking the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip, while the S23 is equipped with the latest and greatest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. And we're going to go ahead and test these out using a real-world test that would actually affect my personal use of these phones. I'm going to do that with Adobe Rush Video Editing. Create a new project, select videos. We'll title these Test. And we'll just select two of the same things here. And we will hit Create. And we're going to battle these two head to head here. So you can see both are at 4 minutes 59 seconds. We'll go ahead and add some effects. Let's do a dissolve at the beginning. Let's go ahead and add a subscribe button here, which you can go ahead and do now if you are watching. We'll go ahead and put that subscribe button over the whole video, and we're going to go ahead and render these both out. Same video, same time codes, and I think we're ready. Let's hit export, and we have 299 megabytes for each one. S22 on my left, S23 on my right, and we are going to export in 3, 2, 1. And we see they are neck and neck right now. We have a resolution of 1080, a frame rate of 30, and stereo audio in quality of high. And we can see that the S23 has already pulled ahead by about 2 percentage points ahead of the S22. We're about a quarter of the way through, and again, the S23 is about 3 points ahead of the S22 Ultra. About halfway through, it looks like the S23 is about 5 percentage points ahead of the S22 Ultra. And the S23 is done, and 5% behind is the S22. And the S22 is done. So I guess it's on to the software then. So if we go into settings, we can see that both of these are running One UI version 5.1 and Android version 13. They are running the same exact software. Everything looks the same and feels very similar. So software, exactly the same. Software is a draw for these two phones. Let's go into features. One of the main features of a Galaxy Note device is the DeX software. DeX mode is the same on both of these, which I really like the DeX experience, but you're going to get the same exact experience on both of these phones. So let's move on to the S Pen. If we go into more S Pen settings, they are the same exact settings. So no upgrade on S23 Ultra with the S Pen. How about exclusive apps then? On the S23 Ultra, you get enhanced camera apps from Samsung to make use of that 200 megapixel zoom camera. So here we find Expert RAW, which allows for a more fine-tuned control over the new camera, as well as Galaxy Enhance X, which provides artificial intelligence while editing your photos. You can just let it do its thing. Automatically edits and tunes the photos that you've already shot, as well as Camera Assistant, which lets you customize the settings you may use most frequently. Now, if we switch over to the S22 Ultra, we can see that all those apps are there. That's a draw too. So, what gives? These are practically the same exact phone. It's like Samsung is pulling an Apple on us and releasing the same phone year after year without any real upgrades. Kind of disappointing, to be honest. So am I going to take back my original statement from the beginning of the video when I said you should definitely upgrade from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra? No. You see, Samsung does these mini upgrades every other year, but the advancements they make in their technological jump year more than make up for the incremental upgrades during these technologically stagnant years. And while we've been through the first 4 categories, there's one category we haven't quite talked about yet, and that category is pricing. But to be more specific, future value. So the price of the S22 Ultra with 256 gigabytes right now on Samsung.com is $949. So it's under $1,000, and honestly, you get a lot for that, especially compared to the iPhone, even if it is last year's model of Samsung. But what about the S23 Ultra? It's currently listed on Samsung.com for $1,199. And to me, that seems like a fairly big price hike for just a 5% bump in processing capabilities, and not much more really. I mean, these are practically the same phone otherwise. But, and this is why I always wait 3 to 4 months before buying the latest and greatest Samsung phone. Right now, you receive a $200 instant discount on the Samsung S23 Ultra at the time of this video. Now that brings the S23 Ultra with 256 gigabytes down to $999. Now we're at just $50 over last year's S22 Ultra. Not bad, but it gets even better. See, if you already have last year's S22 Ultra, you can send that back to Samsung for a $750 rebate, effectively bringing the price down to just $250. And I think this is something that most people don't even realize. Most people I talk with will buy a new phone, say a Samsung, an iPhone, a Pixel, or whatever, and they'll spend $1,000. And then they'll keep that phone for 3 to 4 years until their phone is almost unusable and they're ready to toss it in the garbage and drop another $1,000 for the next phone. But for the same price, you can have the newest phone every single year. See, I've been doing this for several years now with the Note and Ultra series, and I always end up paying $250 to upgrade every single year. The only difference is I have a new phone every year. Think about it. I end up paying the same $1,000 over the course of that 4 years. And did I already mention I get a brand new phone every year? Now, if I were to wait 2 years to upgrade to the newest Samsung phone, I wouldn't quite get that good of a deal. For example, the 2-year-old Note 20, which was succeeded by the S22 Ultra, would only net me a $400 rebate. Not bad, but since tech increases so rapidly, the best bang for my buck is to trade in every single year. Even if the new phone doesn't seem that much different than what I'm currently rocking, it is worth going ahead and upgrading, since it will be worth the most when I trade it in again next year. Now that's just my 2 cents, and remember that pricing can and will change, so keep that in mind when you're shopping. With all that being said, I'm going to let my personal assistant bring all this home for us with a poem. Now his name is Bill GPT. Strange last name there, Bill, but can you write us all a poem about the Samsung S22 Ultra and the Samsung S23 Ultra?
Sure thing.
Okay then, take it away, Bill.
In the world of phones, 2 giants stand tall. Samsung S22 Ultra and S23, they call. Both with screens so vibrant, colors that gleam. A battle of excellence, like a vivid dream. S22's prowess, a sight to behold. With cameras that capture stories untold. Zooming in close, each detail it uncovers. A photographic marvel, for creators and lovers. But wait! Here comes S23, a worthy rival. Its features and innovations, truly survival. Enhanced AI smarter than before. A device that opens future's door. S22's design, elegant and refined. While S23's build, a masterpiece we find. Both slim and sleek, fit for any hand. Aesthetics and function, they both command. S22's battery, enduring and strong. S23's charging speed, oh, it won't take long. With power to last through days of endeavor. They're there for you, always and forever. The S22 Ultra and S23 Ultra, a duel of might. 2 brilliant stars in the smartphone's light. As they strive for greatness, we all win. For innovation thrives when they begin.
Well, thanks for that amazing insight, Bill. Hopefully you'll make an appearance in some of our future videos. Speaking of, we have much more to cover in future videos. So if you're interested in becoming a member of the exclusive Inner Circle, you know what to do. Now, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching through to the end of the video. The most egregious grammatical error I routinely make. I'd say ending my sentences with a preposition, but that's just because of where I'm from.